All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. It is Dave. It is the Real Music Observer, observing real music in real time for real people just like you right there and just like me right here. AC/DC and Brian Johnson, of course, have now more or less confirmed that they are working on a brand new album. Not sure about Phil Rudd, but he was pictured in one of those photos from a couple months ago up in Vancouver, as allegedly the group was working on new material at the time. And Angus is apparently going to recycle some Malcolm Young riffs from a couple albums ago to help create this new music. So it's going to be interesting to hear what this stuff sounds like. But on kind of a sour note, Guns N' Roses' ex-manager has sort of piped in on the possibility of Brian Johnson not touring with AC/DC. He basically said it's one thing for Brian to be recording with this group, but apparently he's in no condition to actually tour with the band if they complete this album. Maybe they're thinking if more time goes by, Brian's condition will improve, but right now, according to this guy, it doesn't seem likely. The likelihood of Axl coming back, that's Axl Rose, for those of you who didn't know who I was referring to, and the prospect of Axl-DC, by the way, a term that I think I may have coined first. It just, Axl-DC, it's got a nice ring to it, it flows, but as far as a band concept or an idea, I am not on board with it. I think Axl should stay in his band and work on some new material, and I guess the GNR tour last year was one of the highest grossing tours, I've been told anyway, and I think that's really where Axl needs to be. As far as replacing Brian Johnson, they need somebody who sounds like Brian Johnson and not like somebody who sounds like Axl Rose. I don't know. AC/DC, at their age and the style of music that they play, it may be time to call it quits if Brian Johnson can't hit the road live. I know there's a ton of money on the table if these guys do go out on tour, and if you have Phil Rudd in the group, and maybe you can persuade a couple of the old ex-members to return. I think people are just more concerned about Brian Johnson and, having Angus and Brian together. I think that's really the key right now. But we shall see how this plays out. This may just be rumor or speculation because it's based on what a manager or an ex-manager of Guns N' Roses believes as far as Brian Johnson's condition. You would think being in the studio is going to be far easier to deal with than being in these huge stadiums with all the noise and stuff. But we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that Brian is able to tour, because that would be one great concert to see. Okay, done with this video. Be back soon. See you then.